my lovely friends, I hope you're having a wonderful day. It has been a little while since I filmed. I said 2 weeks, it's been more than 2 weeks, but I've been on school holidays and I just was really ready to just relax, really, and make things. I've been, you know, when given the choice, do you want to do some stitching or do you want to make a video? I picked stitching. And that means I've got lots to show you. So today I have got lots of finished things, not all cross stitch or sewing, they're just a mixture of a bit of everything. I have got a finish for now and some whips and some haul, and let's get into it, hey? Okay, so the first thing I finished while I've been on holidays was actually this little bag. I had a friend from where I work come over for a bit of a lesson, and so this is my example that I was making alongside her. It's just a little zipper patch. This is a pattern I actually designed myself. It's got a flat bottom and a little wristlet, and it's just a really sweet, easy pattern. A good one for learning zips. If I could work out how to put this in a PDF, I'll put it up as a downloadable pattern. But I need to work out how to do that. That could be a little bit beyond me. But I'll give it a go. So, oh, some threads there. Pull those out. So yeah, that was really cute. This was just fabric from my stash. I have no idea what it was. And then just lined in the orange. It's just cute. Be very easy to do a little patch pocket on the inside. But being that it was her first go back into sewing after a while, we kept it pretty easy. So that was my first finish while I was on holidays. Next, actually I don't even know the order. So I'm just going to show you. I'll show you this little guy first because he's really sweet. So I bought, I was at Spotlight and I don't know what I was there for. It wasn't this, but I bought it anyway. If you know me, you know that my favourite bird is a kookaburra. Even though I have more galahs around me, and I have stitched a little galah cushion, but my front yard gets quite a little family of galahs that come and visit. But I saw this and I thought, I'm gonna get it. It was only cheap, and I think it's more for like newer little kid stitches, but it was a kookaburra. And it was this one from Spotlight, So and So. I did not finish it in the hoop. It came with a hoop, but I didn't finish it in the hoop. I made it into a little pillow. And I've backed it into some little bird on a wire fabric. No idea what that one is, but it's very cute. Can you see the little birdies? But he's cute, isn't he? Isn't he cute? So I've got a little kookaburra pillow. I thought he was very sweet, and he was very quick to make. I was happy with that. The next thing I made, you may have actually seen if you follow me on Instagram. I was cleaning out my bathroom, as you do. So it's springtime, spring cleaning, and just going through, and under the sink I had a soap dish that doesn't ever get used anymore, and there was no point in keeping it. And initially I was going to just get rid of it, but then I thought I would make it into a pincushion. So I've made this little pincushion out of the soap dish, and I've used some Tilda fabric in it and some, I guess it's kind of like a beigey coloured cotton lace, and it is literally just glue gunned in to the dish. I did sew the rectangle first so that it held all the stuffing and everything in. So I did 2 rectangles of fabric. Underneath was just ugly fabric, and then stuffed it. I didn't bother stitching it all the way up. I just kind of then glued around each of the edges, pushing it down as I went with a hot glue gun. And then once I'd done that, I got the lace and I also glued that around the edge, and I just kind of folded it around the edges. Like I didn't, it's not very, that's actually the join there. Yeah, it's nothing special. It's just been folded across, and it just kind of lays over the pin cushion. It's really sweet, isn't it? So I was happy with that. So that is something that I made this week. I might put that one up here. Then I finished my very first ever Blackbird design chart. This is called Morning Star, and it is just a little small, on the back they've got it on a little box of spools. It's very, very sweet. I think, what is the finished size? Is 2, so about 3 by 4 inches. Very little. I stitched it on some 40 count, also my first 40 count. I've made it. Look at how cute that is. Okay, I was sold on this because I love the little quilt block at the top, and I love the little strawberry. So I have changed, obviously, the initial for an N for Nikki, and I've changed the year to 2021, and I just love it. I think it's adorable. So yeah, I've stitched it across the bottom, and I've backed it into with some tilde, because we all know how much I love tilde. I didn't put any trim or anything on it. Every time I audition trims, I just prefer it without it. I think I'm a little bit too plain Jane, maybe. But I just think that is adorable. So I actually have this one living with my little galah that I made in a little wooden bowl on the sideboard in my dining room. And I just think it's adorable. Yeah. Okay, so that was another finish. Are you impressed yet? Okay. This is my last fully finished, but this is like a favorite. I really love it. It is my little Halloween cat. I've made it into a cushion. Look at the little pumpkin at the bottom. There he is. Now this fabric on the back is just from Spotlight. I didn't buy very much of it, just enough to do this really. I think I only bought 15 centimeters of it. But how cute is this? Look at the bat at the top. It's got like a little moon here that's just in a very light color. Now all of these colors are not the call for, but they're close enough because they just came from my stash and whatever I thought was close to the pattern. This pattern is by the Witchy Stitcher, and you can find it in the Just Cross Stitch magazine. I get my Just Cross Stitch magazine through a book subscription that I get called Scribd, which I will put that down below because it's got quite a few cross stitch magazines on there. It's also got quilting magazines on there, all your audiobooks and all of your podcasts and ebooks and lots of things on there, even music sheets, lots of things on there. So definitely check it out. And I think this is adorable. I'm a dog person, not a cat person, but I could not go past this. Well, I shouldn't say I'm not a cat person. I have owned a cat in my life and I do love cats, but I definitely love my puppy dog. But yeah, this is adorable. Really happy with this. We don't have a lot of Halloween stuff available to us. So the only way to get cute Halloween stuff is to make it. And I think he is a gorgeous, gorgeous addition to my Halloween decorations. So yeah, really happy with that. I think I stitched this. It's either a 28, I think it might be 28 count. It looks like a 28 count. Yeah, most of my linens are just Zweigart based because I find it very hard to find linens because, oh, I just spat. Did you see that? Oh. Because around me there is no local needle workshop at all. I'm still finding my feet with trying to find where to get beautiful linens from. Obviously all my shopping is online, and it's very hard to buy linens online because you don't get to see them or feel them, or it's just hard. But I am kind of finding favorites and trying to remember what they are. I think so far my favorite count is 36 count and some 40s. One of the 40s I'm doing is very hard. I think it's because it's a white. The natural 40 I found really easy for the little Blackbird. Like that one, I didn't struggle with that at all. And I didn't even need a magnifier. That was a good linen. So, and I have more of that, obviously, because this is only tiny. And I think I'm going to use it to stitch something that I'm going to show you later. So yeah, stand by for that. But yeah, I liked that one. And yeah, this was really nice too. Really sweet. Okay, so how I want to do, I've got a big mess down here. Hang on a sec. So much stuff. Okay. So my next one is a finish for now because I haven't fully finished it. I haven't framed it up yet. But this, oh, I'm going to lose the frame. This is my home of a needleworker. Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't it gorgeous? I'm really happy with it. Really, really happy with it. I have had to, let's go at this. I've had to fudge a few things on this because it turns out counting is hard. And so my house is a slightly different size. It has a couple of extra rows width, and my N is different. My vines I then had to make different. My top and bottom stitches are different. Everything's a little bit different, but I wasn't going to unpick. I just ran with what I had. And so I've got a frame for this one, but I just haven't framed it yet. So it's going to go just in this timber frame, which is cute. I just need to get some sticky board so that I can mount it, and then that will be all framed and ready. So I really, really was happy with that one. The pattern for this I've actually already handed on. So I'm going to put it up here because I don't remember what it was, because I've already handed it on to a friend who wanted to stitch this. When she saw it, she wanted to do it too, which I think I have dragged her down the cross-stitch rabbit hole. She is my quilty friend, and I think she is now also my stitchy friend, because if I'm going to jump down the rabbit hole, I might as well bring people with me, huh? Okay, so that's what I have for finishes. Now, I have been working on a few things. I'm going to show you this one first because this one has the least amount done to it, by no fault of its own. And that is, I have just started on the house for Little Women Part 2. And that's it. That is since I've seen you. This little bit here is the only bit I've done. Now this one is being stitched on a 32 count. And it is Zweigart Belfast linen. And I'm stitching it 2/2, and I'm finding that it looks okay, but now that I've been stitching with one thread, I really prefer to stitch with one thread. I like the look of one thread better, but I'm going to continue with this because I've started, and that's what it actually says to do. I'm pretty sure it says 2 threads over 2 on 32. I'm just doing it how the pattern has been written for it. And yeah, that's it. Tiny little bit of work on that. I didn't do much at all because I was busy on other things. The next one I've got to show you is another one I didn't spend a lot of time on. Obviously because I had all those finishes, so it's not like I wasn't stitching. I was stitching, but yeah. Is my butterfly cloche. So let's show you the picture of the pattern. This one is Hello from Liz Matthews pattern. It's gorgeous. This was my birthday start, and this one I want in my dining room, but I haven't done a lot of work on it this week. Let's just put that there. So all I've actually done is I've managed to get one of the numbers in, and all of this needs to be filled in white. And I'm actually, now this is 40 count, but I'm finding this is probably the hardest I've found to stitch. And this is the reason I actually bought the magnifying glasses last video, was because I am finding this one really quite difficult to see the squares. The natural colors, like not at all. I find that really easy, but this is that little bit more tricky. But it will be worth it in the end, so I want to stick with it on this fabric because it's gorgeous. So I actually, now that I'm looking at it, really want to work on it now. So I may do that straight after this video. So that's that little bit of progress that I've got on that one. Not a lot. So I had these plans for Sampler September to start and finish and do my first sampler. So I was busy with all of that other stitching, right? Yeah. So it wasn't until the end of the month, I think like the 28th maybe, that I decided to finally crack out a sampler and get started. Obviously it's October now, so Sampler September is finished and I did not finish a sampler, but that's okay. I started one. So on the 28th, so that I could make sure that I had gotten one started, I started Christmas Rose by Blackbird Designs. This is my second Blackbird Designs pattern. Obviously, the little mini morning star was my first. I am a Christmas nut. Like, Christmas is my jam. I just love Christmas time so much. So I started this one, and I am stitching it with all of the called for except for one, and I'll show you why. Which one did I, okay, so Sandcastle. So Sandcastle is the only thread that I had it but decided not to use it, and that's because of my linen color choice. So I chose this, and when you would look at this when it was stitched, I don't know what that thread is, it just didn't stand out enough, because this is what the border is around the edge, and I felt like you couldn't see it. So I went through my stash, and I just pulled out something a little bit more gold, or quite a bit more gold, for the border, just because I wanted to. And I think it looks all right. I'm pretty happy with how it's looking. So this is my progress on it. So I have done, so that's the border there, and I just think it just sits nicely. It looks more like the photo than the other one did. The other one just was too similar, and you couldn't really see it. Kind of how these are very faint, but these are supposed to be faint. The border, it just didn't look right. And I've put my initials in here, Nikki O'Neill. Non. My initials are non. It's not very attractive, is it? But it is what it is. I had to do the little apostrophe. And I think it looked all right. I wanted to do my initials because this is my first sampler. It's Christmas, which I'm a Christmas girl. And I kind of just wanted to commemorate it a little bit. And yeah, so I've done quite a bit, haven't I, really? So when you look at the pattern, I've done quite a bit. I would say I'm almost at halfway, almost. I'm probably going to put this year as my year, again, to commemorate the fact that this is my first sampler. I'm going to have this one done by next video because I am loving this so much. Those, look at the threads. Look at these trees. Aren't they just awesome? Oh, and I had a little whoopsie with the bird head too, because it's got a little extra stitch on there. I did it to this one first, and then I just copied it on this side because I wasn't going to unpick it. And that's kind of how I roll. I'm not much of a fan of frogging. So I'd rather, if I can, just run with my personalizations of my cross stitches. They're not mistakes, they're personalizations. Oh, really love it. I want to do that one after the video too. After I've done this, I can guarantee you I will be straight to my stitching chair, which is in my lounge room. It's a little bit more comfy than sitting in here to do cross stitch. And I've got an amazing light at my chair from IKEA, which just makes everything so much easier to stitch. Okay, so that's all my whips. That is what I worked on this week. I was going to do some more cutting of my Jane Austen. But guys, I've really struggled with the cutting of quilts. Like, I just find the cutting of quilts is so boring. I'm happy to sew it. I just don't want to cut it. I think that's why I buy so many pre-cuts, because cutting is not really that exciting. And it's slow going. Like, it's, to be precise, it's slow going. So I will try to have it finished before I go back to work. I'm not going to promise anything, but I'll try. I'll try to have that finished before I go back to work. Okay. Speaking of cutting, today being the 1st of October, because I'm not filming this on a Sunday, even though I'm not sure that I'll get it up before Sunday, so it will end up being my Sunday video. I am doing a quilt along with my guild, and we're actually using a free pattern by Fat Quarter Shop called Popstars. I'll link it down below because, you know, feel free to make one too. But the Brisbane Modern Quilt Guild, just for a bit of fun, we're making it. There may be a few charity quilts out of it, people making them for charity quilts, but there may be a few people that are just making it for themselves. I think I'm going to make this one for myself. I have chosen to do mine. I bought this bundle ages ago. This is the Alison Glass Christmas bundle. I bought this from Fabric Pixie. Oh, I couldn't even tell you how long ago. And I just have never known what pattern I was going to make with it, but I think this will be a good one. And the prints are really nice and bright. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I really look at the cross stitch one. Isn't that special? So the prints are just gorgeous, and I'm really thinking that it's going to be the perfect one. Look, that's in the, isn't that gorgeous? I didn't even realize that was in there. Even this, I'm going to drop it. Even this one's got like little crosses on the background. Let's put it up that way. Isn't that adorable? So I'm thinking this is going to be my bundle of fabrics that I'm going to make my Popstars quilt out of. And I think it's going to be gorgeous. And I need to cut it up. So I've got plenty of cutting to get done. To be honest, I'm probably more likely to cut this than the Jane Austen one, because I don't think it will be as fiddly. I think this one will be a little bit easier to get the cutting done quick, because it's not a huge quilt. And it will be fun to cut lots of different types of fabrics, whereas in this one, I'm just cutting the one type of fabric, which, yeah, this will probably end up getting done sooner. So, yeah, so that's something that I'm going to be working on. I'm going to show you a few things that I have bought. Now, the first one's not stitching related, but it's cute, and I just wanted to show you because I mentioned earlier it's really hard to find Halloween decorations that aren't like just tinsel and spider webs, really. Like, there's a lot of tinsel with like pumpkins and ghosts on it. I don't want tinsel in my house. But this is so cute. This is my kind of Halloween decoration. This is from Spotlight. It was $10, but it's currently on special for $8. And it is a porcelain pumpkin. There's 2 colors, but they only had this one at my local Spotlight. I will be keeping an eye out to see if they get the orange ones in. So there's another one that's a different shape and it's orange, but it still has the gold. I think it's gorgeous. It's just a little perfect size Halloween decoration. And it kind of suits us a little bit too, because Halloween is in spring here. We don't have autumn Halloween. And it's kind of, the pink's kind of a nice spring color, don't you think? So, yeah, happy with that. And I just thought I'd show that because if you are like me and you'd like to get into the festiveness of Halloween, but don't like some of the cheap and nasty decorations that is pretty much all we see, Spotlight has those. Okay. I guess we're kind of moving into what I've bought now, aren't we? Really, this is the haul section, as they call it. The shopping stuff, all the shopping. I bought myself a Blackbird book. This is In Friendship's Way by Blackbird Designs, and the projects in this are adorable. That looks so quilty to me. I love that. So quilty. So this is a beautiful book. I'm going to try to show you the pictures without the charts the best I can. Look at those. Aren't they gorgeous? So this is not a new book, but it's new to me. And I love these little motifs. Aren't they beautiful? I've never made a strawberry, but they're a bit cute. I might need to see to it to make some. I just think they're gorgeous. These sort of books, they're kind of almost coffee table books, aren't they? And you could just sit there and just look at and take pleasure in just looking at it, even if you never stitched a single thing out of it. The pleasure in just looking through these books. Look at that one. So beautiful. I wish I'd found cross stitch sooner. I'm really, really enjoying this little rabbit hole that I've fallen down. So nice. So that is something that I got. And what will I show you next? Let's show you this one. Okay, so the next one. I saw this on the Hands Across the Sea YouTube channel. Now, I follow Nicola, and she is just one lovely lady. Like, so lovely. Nicola Parkman. She is Hands Across the Sea. And just listening to her, her voice is like just so beautiful to listen to, and she's so lovely. Anyway, I saw this on her channel. It is a reproduction of an antique made by a 4-year-old. Let's just have a think about that for a second here. A 4-year-old made this. Can I tell you that none of my children at 4 could have done this? My children at 4 were still trying not to fall over and walk into walls. I still had them in sippy cups because they couldn't drink without a straw, without making a mess. It was, yeah, oh, maybe not quite that extreme, but like 4, that's insane. And this is it here. Rosa Sugars, 1881. And look, 4 years old. That is insane. And you can kind of tell that this was a child's sampler because it's just this cacophony of colour. Isn't it just fabulous? And it's not a huge one. It's not going to be a huge sampler. It's only quite a little one, depending on what you stitch it on, I suppose. I have chosen the same linen that I made my Blackbird design with. And so this one is, there we go. It's light natural linen even weave, and it's a 40 count. And there you go. That's what my cushion came out of, that part there. So it's just a really nice weave. And I really found this one quite easy to stitch on. I'm still learning the difference between the even weaves and the Zweigart base and all the rest of it. But this particular linen, why do I have threads like on everything? This particular linen, I would definitely buy more of. So I'm going to stitch Rosa on that. I'm putting things away best I can as I go because I get into a mess very easily. And her colours, I have all of the called for colours except for the red. So the red is one I've just pulled from my stash. So these are all called for. These ones here. Look at the colours. Aren't they just gorgeous? They're so gorgeous. But I just thought that this one fitted in nicely. This is just from my stash. It saves me buying one. And I figured, why not? It kind of fits in. I think Rosa would approve. She would still like those colours all together. They play nicely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to stitching that one too. I have got major plans. So that Christmas one, I'm definitely wanting to finish as soon as possible. Rosa, I'm so excited to stitch her just because of the fact that a 4-year-old stitched it. And one thing about the Hands Across the Sea patterns is that there is always a write-up about the stitcher herself. So they do a lot of research and find out all they can, in this case about Rosa Sugars, and her life. And that's just so fascinating. Every pattern that you get that's a reproduction has a story, and you really get to know this person. How amazing is that? So I really am excited to get started with that one. So the last thing I've got to show you, I'm very excited about. I'm about to do my first stitch along. And this is a Hands Across the Sea, a Hands Across the Sea stitch along. That starts today, in fact. Well, today our time, but because we're a day ahead, the actual video part on Facebook of the stitch along's not till tomorrow. I am doing Eliza Martha Linfoot. I love this. These deer with the little spotty backs. Pretty much, like every time I look at this, that's what I see first. I think that they're awesome. So I'm excited to stitch this one. This is Eliza was 14, I believe, when she stitched this. Yep, 14 years. 14 years. That's where I saw it. I am doing mine on 38 count. I got this from A Stitch in Time in Tasmania. It's only available through certain needle shops around the world. I think there's like 3 or 4 different ones around the world. And in Australia, Stitch in Time is where you get this one from. And it's, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. So I got the chart. I'm going to put my scissors up there for a second. I got the 38 count, and this is Legacy Linen in Filbert. The feel of this is awesome. Like, it's like a really nice weight. And yeah, I think I'm going to enjoy stitching on this. I hope I do. And if I do, then that's like, the color of this is beautiful. It's kind of, yeah, there you go. That's better. About that color. I think it's beautiful. It's almost a pinky color. So that's gorgeous. And then I went with the DMC because there was quite a few colors, and I just don't think I'm ready to invest in silks yet. I'm just not quite brave enough to invest in silks yet. I don't know if I'm that confident in my stitching skills, but there's all the beautiful colors that are going to be. Oh, that was my tummy. It turns out I'm hungry. Isn't that gorgeous? So that is going to be so fun. There's a Facebook group that when you join the Stitch Along, you can join in the Facebook group. There was also a hashtag, and it's just going to be fun. The only thing that I got in here that I don't know. So you get this card in the back here, and it gives you the information, I guess, to put on the back of your work once it's framed. So you can say who it was stitched by, when it was started, when it was finished, the threads that were used, the stitch counts, all that sort of stuff. Any modifications, you can write it all down. But my only qualm is the pattern is Eliza Martha Linfoot. And on here, it says Eliza Maria Linfoot. So I don't know if that's a typo, or if Martha and Maria are interchangeable, or maybe if I read up some information on Eliza, it will, because as per usual, there's all this beautiful write-up about the original designer. Look at it. Isn't that gorgeous? But yeah, I just don't know why that says Maria. So if you know, by any chance, let me know, because I'm not sure. I might have to ask about that, because it just seems odd to have a different name on the information card. I don't know. Maybe it was a typo and they're just running with it. Don't know. So all of the stitching that I've done has kept me busy. And then being school holidays, there's been lots of stuff that I've been doing as well. Driving, I did go down the coast, which is beautiful. Still quiet because it's not quite Queensland warm. And I was actually surprised at how empty the beach was. I guess without our New South Wales tourists, there's no one swimming in the water, because it's too cold for us Queenslanders to go swimming just yet. But often the Victorians and the New South Welshmen would maybe come up and think it was wonderful. So yeah, the beach was bare. Yeah, just lots of drives and just being with family and resting, and it's back to work next week, back to the usual run of it. Last term of the year. That's lovely. I always think that term 4 goes the fastest. Term 1 and term 4. Term 1 is just getting to know the kids and getting a lot of baseline stuff, and it's busy. And then term 4 is really busy at the get-go, and then before you know it, the year is gone. Like it's It just goes fast. So I'm excited to go back. I'm excited to see all of the students. Just looking forward to getting back in a bit of routine, I think. As long as I still get lots of stitching time, lots of sewing time. And yeah, I hope that you guys are doing lots of making as well, or at least some making, because, you know, just being able to give yourself that time to do what you love, I can really believe it makes you a better person. It's pouring back into you to be constantly busy doing things for other people, you know, working and family needs and just always doing things for other people can really wear you down. And one thing that I have been really trying to focus on this year, because this year has been a little bit of a struggle for me, I have to say. I won't go into it, but it has been a struggle. And I've really tried to just give myself the time I need to rest and to recuperate and just do something that makes me feel just really good. Making something does that. Being able to, and I'm a homebody. I'm such a homebody. But just being able to make things, it fills me back up again. And I hope that it does the same for you. And I hope that you give yourself that time and put yourself down as a priority, and knowing that even if all you get is half an hour here and there, just to dedicate guilt-free that time to yourself. I really, if you're not doing it, please go and do it. Go, and even if it's just reading a book, having a bath, walking around the garden, or taking a little drive, do something that is going to give back to you. I want you all to do that. But that's it from me today. Thank you for being so patient with me with my gaps in between the videos. I do really enjoy the fact that when I do have a bigger gap, I've got a lot of stuff to show you. It is quite nice. I will hopefully have more things to show you next video. Possibly some more finishes. I'd say definitely some more new starts. But I will see you again. Thank you for popping by. See you next time. Bye.